What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about both CFVI stock, the stock taking Rumble public, and DWAC stock, the stock taking Trump Media and Technology Group, or Truth Social public. So we've got a lot to talk about in this video. We have to talk about some investigations as well as some incredible revenue projections for those stocks. So let's get right into it. Start taking a look at the chart. Both of these stocks are doing incredibly well today. DWAC is up 12.27% and CFVI is up 8.2%. So both of them doing incredibly well regarding where they closed yesterday. And that's not a surprise at all. The market in general is doing very well. The S&P is up. It's soaring, and so it's taking a lot of stocks with it, but some exciting news has also come out for DWAC. Apparently, DWAC will be going public with Devin Nunes. If you know who he is, he's about to retire from Congress and become the CEO of Trump Media and Technology Company. So that is some exciting news. That got DWAC pumping up in the after hours yesterday, and they did fade away, but then continued the rally today. They're hitting up $50. We're going to see if they can't break past that over the course of the day, or maybe sometime later this week. CFVI, it looks like they got stopped out at 14. We're going to see if they can't do the same and break past that later this week or today. But we have to talk about shorts very quickly, okay? So shorts are actually running rampant in DWAC, right? Shorts have increased their short interest by about 5.89, almost 6% on the day, bringing us up to a 10.62% or percent short interest regarding the free float and 3.19 million shares short total. CFVI, on the other hand, has hardly any shorts in it. In fact, it only has 0.18% of the free float being short, or 39,000 shares short. So barely anything when compared to the millions of shorts that are in DWAC. So overall, it did take some time for shorts to really get into DWAC. I think that shorts may be scared of CFVI, though, the company taking Rumble public, because there are some pretty compelling growth numbers for Rumble. And DWAC, people might be a little bit less scared to short because we haven't seen the true social beta yet. People don't know what it's going to look like. They don't know if it's going to be that good of an app. And there are oftentimes pitfalls with software developers in the first couple of months. There are potentially some dips that could be going on with DWAC. And so I think shorts are a little bit less wary of shorting that, whereas Rumble has been a proven platform. People are using it a ton. It's growing massively every quarter. And I think shorts are a little scared of that. So we have yet to see massive short interest in CFVI stock. But I will also show you the Google Trends data real quick before we talk about some of the catalysts that these things have going for them, both positive and negative. But first, you can see the red line is DWAC and the blue line is CFVI stock. And these are tracking essentially how many people are searching for these stocks. And you can see that CFVI is holding its own almost with DWAC oftentimes. It's not that far off from the search rankings on DWAC. Typically, DWAC gets searched for a bit more, and this is not surprising because when you look at these stocks' market caps, CFVI stock is a $500 million market cap, and DWAC is a $1.7 billion market cap, and these are both going to grow massively. The market caps, when you actually see them merge into the companies known as Rumble and Trump Media and Technology Group. So once these stocks actually end up ending their position as SPACs and become fully fledged real stocks that are trading as Rumble and Trump Media and Technology Group, the market caps will inflate quite a bit because it will bring in all the ownership that is private, essentially, right? So currently, those companies, Rumble and Trump Media Technology Group, are private, and there is a lot of value there that will be brought into these market caps when we actually see them going public through these SPACs. So not to worry, though. A lot of those shares will still be retained by the original owners. So that's not a huge concern for these companies. But we do have some interesting developments on the 8K that was released for DWAC just yesterday. So we're going to talk about some good things and some bad things that were on the 8K. First of all, one of the good things is that they did say that assuming no redemptions by DWAC's stockholders, the PIPE, together with the amounts delivered from DWAC's trust account, is expected to generate approximately $1.25 billion worth of net proceeds after deducting estimated transaction fees and related expenses. So this essentially means that DWAC is going to have $1.25 billion worth of cash to play with when they end up merging with TM and becoming TMTG. So that is an incredible amount. It's far more than people were expecting they would have when they initially debuted on the market, when they started trading as a SPAC originally for $10 per share. You can see all the way back here, 90 days, or not even 90 days ago, but they were trading right below $10. And as soon as this thing took off, I think Trump realized that there was some potential to raise additional capital. They finally ended up doing that around here, and they got an additional $1 billion out of that for a total of $1.25 billion that they're going to have after this whole transaction goes through. So very impressive stuff for DWAC. They're probably going to be able to use that money to grow fairly quickly. However, a more negative thing that they revealed in this 8K was that DWAC has received certain preliminary fact-finding inquiries, so investigations essentially, from regulatory authorities with which it is cooperating. Specifically, DWAC received a request for information from FINRA surrounding events that preceded the public announcement on October 20th. So essentially, FINRA is looking into if there were any discussions between Trump and the CEO of DWAC before the public announcement of the merger. And DWAC also received a voluntary information and document request from the SEC, or Securities and Exchange Commission. According to the SEC's request, the investigation does not mean that the SEC has concluded that anyone violated the law or that the SEC has a negative opinion on DWAC. So all in all, not that bad, right? Because they don't actually think that anyone has violated the law. At least they haven't declared that anyone has. They haven't concluded it. And they don't have a negative opinion on DWAC or, notably, any person, event, or security. So all in all, not the worst news, right? People are really blowing this up on the internet saying that they're being investigated by the SEC. But really, it is a voluntary information and document request that DWAC is complying with. So all in all, not the worst thing. There's also a minor investigation going on regarding CFVI Stock. The law office of Brodsky and Smith announced that it is investigating potential claims against the board of directors of CFVI for possible breaches of fiduciary duty and other violations of federal and state law in connection with the agreement that will combine CFVI with Rumble. So basically, this is just being investigated because under the terms of the agreement, Brodsky and Smith, this law firm, thinks that the shareholders of CFVI didn't get the best end of the stick, right? Because under the terms of the agreement, CFVI shareholders will retain ownership of only 11.5% of Rumble, right? That's all they're actually buying of Rumble for the money in that SPAC, which is somewhat justifiable, right? Because Rumble actually has a $2.1 billion market cap, or it's going to under the terms of this deal. And the CEO and founder of Rumble, I believe, is going to retain most of the ownership and the voting rights to the company. So most of those shares won't be tradable, right? And the owners of CFVI will only retain 11.5% of the combined company. It's understandable because they weren't raising all that much money. I think it was only $300 million that they were raising. So all in all, not the largest amount, but it's relatively fair regarding what we're going to look at here, both DWAC growth projections as well as CFVI in just a moment. So DWAC, an interesting statistic that just came out the other day is that they say they are estimating 40 million paying subscribers by 2026 for their service, and they're estimating that those subscribers will generate $9 on average of monthly revenue. Okay, and that's per user. So when you actually do the math on that to figure out what's the annual revenue that DWAC is going to be collecting, it is $4.32 billion annually in revenue just from the subscribers, right? That doesn't even count the potential ad revenue they could be getting or any potential deals they could be making with other companies. Who knows what other forms of revenue they could get. That's just from subscriptions to their Plus service. So very impressive that they estimate in 2026 they'll be getting $4.32 billion annually for their Plus service. So that's a really great number to see. In just a couple of years, I mean, they don't even have a $4 billion market cap at this point, I believe. I think that when the merger ends up going through, they'll be valued at 3.25 or something like that billion. So $4.32 billion annual revenue would certainly balloon their stock price over the course of the 4 or 5 years that people could be holding it to 2026. Now, for CFVI, their growth projections are actually pretty impressive as well. It's more of a backwards-looking growth projection because you can see over the past 1.25 years, viewer engagement has grown 44x, and that's not 44%. That's 44x. User growth has user engagement has 44x'd over the course of 1.25 years. So incredible stuff. And they have 44 million monthly active users as of August 2021. And that's very impressive because in 2020, they had about 1.6 million. So active users on a monthly basis have dramatically increased as well. And once again, they're currently valued at $2.1 billion, but this rapid growth could continue to not just shoot up their active users, but also their market cap and thus their stock price. So there are some very bright things, I think, on the horizon for DWAC and CFVI. And obviously, this isn't financial advice. I'm not recommending anything. I'm not recommending that anyone buy or sell these stocks. I'm just giving you guys my opinion and laying out some of the data that has been provided for us on these stocks. So if you guys are interested in seeing more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I do these kinds of videos pretty much every day, and we do morning live streams at 9. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe. But other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.